Break free from being a people-pleaser. Stop being soft. Modern Stoicism. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in the endless cycle of people-pleasing. We're constantly told to agree, conform, and avoid conflict. Society often makes us believe that our value lies in how much we can give to others, pushing us to put everyone's needs before our own. But this way of thinking is not only exhausting, it leads to a loss of self-respect and personal fulfillment. At Stoic Secrets, we believe that the true path to happiness and confidence lies in breaking free from the shackles of constant approval-seeking. In this video, we will delve into key Stoic principles that will help you stop being soft, stop living for others, and start living a life of integrity, confidence, and self-respect. It's time to embrace your true worth, and we're here to show you how to do it. Number 1. Stop being overly accommodating. Imagine juggling multiple tasks, helping a friend, attending a family gathering, staying late at work, because you simply can't say no. At first it feels generous, even virtuous, but over time you start to feel drained and disconnected from your true self. This is the trap of people-pleasing. The first Stoic secret to break free from this is simple. Stop being overly accommodating. This doesn't mean abandoning kindness, but recognizing when you're sacrificing your well-being for the comfort of others. People-pleasing often stems from insecurity and a need for external validation. While it feels good to say yes to everyone, constantly doing so slowly chips away at your self-worth. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, particularly our responses. We can't control other people's desires, but we can control our actions. Saying yes to everything actually means saying no to ourselves, which leads to burnout, resentment, and a loss of personal integrity. Setting boundaries is key to maintaining a healthy relationship with yourself and others. Why is it so difficult to say no? Often, it's because we fear rejection or conflict, or we don't want to seem selfish. But saying no isn't selfish. It's an act of self-respect. By not overextending yourself, you protect your mental health and your energy. Saying no makes space for what truly matters to you. Here's the paradox. The more you say no, the more respect you earn. People don't expect you to be available all the time. They value your presence when you can truly offer it. Saying no isn't about being rigid. It's about protecting your well-being and relationships. Consider a friend of mine, Sarah. She used to feel obligated to say yes to everything, going to every event, helping with every project, until she realized it was taking a toll on her health and dreams. She started setting boundaries and learned to say no without guilt. At first, it was uncomfortable. She feared people would think she didn't care. But over time, her peace of mind improved, and her relationships became more genuine. Sarah learned the Stoic secret. By saying no, she wasn't rejecting people, she was honoring her values. To begin this journey, start with small steps. Acknowledge that your needs are just as important as others. When tempted to say yes, pause and ask, what am I saying no to by saying yes? Is this aligned with my values? Will it contribute to my well-being? This simple pause gives you the space to make decisions that reflect your true priorities. Over time, saying no won't diminish your worth. It will enhance it. You'll show others that you value yourself, your time, and your energy. As you build inner strength, you'll find that people treat you with more respect, and your relationships grow deeper and more authentic. The Stoic lesson here is that setting boundaries is an act of strength. By learning to say no with confidence, you create space for more meaningful connections. It's not just about protecting your time, It's about protecting your peace of mind and living in alignment with your values. Reflect on this. What do you need to say no to in order to say yes to a healthier, more fulfilling life? Remember, the Stoic secrets are not just ancient wisdom. They are practical tools for today's world. They can help you break free from people-pleasing and live a life true to yourself. Embrace your power to choose, set boundaries, and prioritize yourself. Doing so will not only improve your life, but help you show up in the world with authenticity, strength, and grace. Number 2. Set boundaries. One of the most critical aspects of personal development, particularly for those who are in the process of breaking free from the tendency to people-please, is the ability to set clear, healthy boundaries. Boundaries are the unspoken lines that distinguish your emotional, mental, and physical space from that of others. They help preserve your sense of self-respect and emotional equilibrium by defining what you will and will not tolerate. In a world that often demands more than we can give, boundaries act as a safeguard, ensuring we don't sacrifice our peace and well-being for the sake of others. Modern Stoicism emphasizes the importance of self-awareness and knowing our limits. It teaches us that, like the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. In the same vein, boundaries don't isolate us. Instead, they help us protect our energy, desires, and resources. They are not walls built to keep others out, but rather markers that delineate where our obligations end and where our self-respect begins. This concept is especially crucial today, where the pressure to be constantly available and agreeable can often result in stress, burnout, and emotional exhaustion. Setting boundaries is not just about learning to say no, but about expressing, with clarity and confidence, what we are willing to accept and what we are not. By defining these limits, you send a powerful message to those around you that you value yourself and that your time, energy, and emotions are precious. This act of self-respect encourages others to respect you as well. Think of it as building a framework for healthy relationships, whether personal, professional, or social. Without boundaries, we risk becoming overwhelmed by the demands of others, giving more than we can afford, and losing touch with what truly matters to us. Over time, this unchecked giving can lead to feelings of resentment, bitterness, and exhaustion. The Stoic mindset teaches us that we must take full responsibility for our emotional health, and this includes recognizing when others are overstepping their bounds and learning to address those situations directly and assertively. As you practice setting and maintaining boundaries, you'll find that it becomes easier to protect your peace and more natural to assert your needs without guilt. In doing so, you grow more resilient and self-assured. Perhaps one of the most liberating aspects of setting boundaries is that it allows you to preserve your emotional and mental well-being. When you respect your own limits, you make yourself less vulnerable to manipulation and coercion. Others begin to recognize that you are not a pushover or someone who can be taken advantage of. You set the tone for how you wish to be treated, and that, in turn, helps foster mutual respect. It's important to understand that setting boundaries is not an act of selfishness, but rather a demonstration of self-respect and emotional intelligence. In fact, by maintaining healthy boundaries, you not only protect yourself, but also model for others how to engage with you in a way that is mutually beneficial. It's a practice of teaching others to respect your time, your emotional energy, and your personal needs, which in turn encourages them to do the same in their own lives. This is the essence of modern Stoicism, the application of timeless wisdom to our contemporary challenges. By setting boundaries, you are not just protecting your own space, You are shaping a world where respect and self-care are prioritized, both for you and for others. Number 3. Speak with clarity and confidence. In today's modern world, which moves at a rapid pace and demands constant adaptation, one of the most empowering skills we can develop is clear and confident communication. This is particularly vital when we are working to overcome the deep-seated tendency to please others, often at the expense of our own integrity. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy grounded in wisdom, teaches us that clear, direct communication is not just important for effective interaction with others. It is a critical tool for asserting our self-respect and living authentically. In our daily lives, we may often find ourselves trying to soften our words or dilute our messages to avoid conflict or to gain approval. This can happen when we apologize excessively, over-explain ourselves, or shy away from directly expressing our needs. Although these actions may seem harmless at first, they actually reflect a deeper desire to avoid confrontation or disapproval. But by doing so, we unintentionally undermine our self-worth and show a lack of confidence in what we stand for. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, famously said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." These words resonate deeply in a world where we are often encouraged to please others, bend our truths, or hide our true selves in an attempt to fit in. When we speak with clarity, we align our words with truth, honesty, and integrity, which creates a solid foundation for building trust and respect with those around us. Clear communication doesn't mean dominating the conversation or being harsh. It means expressing ourselves directly and with purpose, while remaining mindful of our values. It's a gentle but firm assertion of our needs, desires, and boundaries in a way that feels authentic to who we are. In this process, we're not only communicating our position, but also signaling our self-respect to others. One of the key lessons of Stoicism is the importance of eliminating unnecessary apologies. When we apologize too often or make excuses for our choices, we send a message to others that we lack conviction or believe that our actions are somehow not worthy of respect. This self-doubt can creep in quietly, but it erodes our sense of self-worth over time. Every time we apologize for something we don't need to, we are reinforcing the idea that we don't fully believe in our own decisions. Stoicism, on the other hand, teaches us to embrace clarity in communication, to speak confidently and assertively without the need to diminish our message with excessive apologies or justifications. As we navigate through modern life, we must remind ourselves that our thoughts, feelings, and desires are valid. We have the right to express them openly and without fear of judgment. This understanding is incredibly empowering. It gives us the confidence to set clear boundaries, communicate our needs, and stand firm in our convictions without constantly second-guessing ourselves. By practicing clear and assertive communication, we not only strengthen our relationships with others, but we also reinforce our self-worth. When we stop apologizing for existing or for wanting what we want, we step into our true power. And as we do so, our relationships with others grow stronger and more authentic because we are no longer hiding behind a facade. The journey to breaking free from the cycle of people-pleasing requires us to recognize that clear communication is not merely a tool for getting others to understand us. It's an act of self-respect, a reflection of how we value ourselves. When we speak with clarity and confidence, we teach others how to treat us. People respect us more when we communicate with purpose, because they can see that we value ourselves and our time. In a world that often encourages us to blend in, minimize our voice, or suppress our needs, speaking clearly and confidently is an act of Stoic strength. It is a conscious choice to assert our place in the world with dignity, integrity, and authenticity. Modern Stoicism teaches us that true strength doesn't lie in pleasing others or seeking approval. It lies in our ability to communicate our truth clearly and assertively. We become stronger, not by avoiding confrontation or minimizing our voice, but by expressing ourselves with confidence and clarity. In doing so, we not only honor our own self-worth, but we also invite others to respect us in return. To break free from the habit of people-pleasing and build a life aligned with our true values, we must speak with purpose, conviction, and respect for both ourselves and others. This is the path to a more authentic, empowered life. If you've ever found yourself holding back your true thoughts, watering down your words to avoid conflict, or apologizing too much just to keep others happy, drop a "I speak clearly" in the comments below. Your insights and experiences are valuable, and by sharing them, we can build a community that values truth, authenticity, and the courage to speak with confidence. Let's continue this journey of self-respect and empowerment together. Number 4. Learn to handle disagreements. Disagreements are a natural part of life. Whether it's a simple misunderstanding or a deeply held difference in opinion, they will come up, and how we handle them shapes our emotional resilience and self-respect. It's easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment, to let emotions drive us into reactive behaviors that we might regret later. But here's the thing. Stoicism teaches us that it's not the conflict itself that defines us, but how we respond to it. Life is filled with moments when we could either react impulsively or respond with thoughtfulness, and it's these choices that set the tone for our relationships and our inner peace. Have you ever found yourself in a disagreement, letting your emotions take over, only to regret it afterward? It happens to all of us. But the real Stoic secret here is that we can choose a different path, one of composure, patience, and emotional control. The next time you feel the urge to react impulsively, take a deep breath and remember that you don't have to be swept up in the chaos of the moment. Instead, approach the situation with calm, focus, and a clear mind. When we stay level-headed, we don't just protect ourselves from saying things we might regret, but we also demonstrate confidence and self-respect. It's a powerful thing to maintain your composure during a disagreement. It shows others that you're secure in your beliefs and able to handle conflict with grace. For example, my friend Alex recently found himself in a tense conversation at work. A colleague challenged one of his ideas in front of the entire team, and the old Alex would have immediately felt defensive, ready to argue. But he had been practicing Stoic principles, and instead of reacting, he paused, listened carefully, and calmly explained his reasoning. Not only did the situation remain respectful, but Alex gained the respect of his colleagues, who saw him as someone who could handle criticism without losing his cool. This is the power of composure. Stoicism doesn't just teach us to control our actions. It teaches us to control our emotional responses to the actions of others. In the heat of a disagreement, our first instinct may be to defend ourselves or shut down the other person. But instead, Stoicism invites us to listen, to truly hear the other person's perspective, even if we don't agree with it. This active listening shows that we value the other person's point of view, while still holding firm to our own beliefs. Think about it. How often do you feel heard in an argument? How often do you truly listen, not just to win the debate, but to understand the person in front of you? By practicing this kind of calm, thoughtful exchange, you'll find that disagreements can become opportunities for growth and understanding, rather than fights that leave wounds. And here's the real gift of Stoic self-control. As you practice this emotional regulation, you build your emotional resilience. You become stronger in your ability to face external challenges with a steady mind and an unwavering sense of self. Every time you remain calm in the face of conflict, you add to your inner strength and self-respect. You build a foundation of emotional resilience that will serve you not just in arguments, but in all aspects of life. It's about mastering yourself, not the situation. As we engage in disagreements, our ability to stay calm and composed becomes a testament to our strength, not our weakness. We can stand firm in our beliefs while also remaining open to learning from others. So the next time you face a conflict, ask yourself, am I reacting or responding? Am I listening to understand or just to be heard? These questions can help you remain composed and in control. And as you continue practicing this Stoic secret, you'll find that you navigate disagreements with greater ease, confidence, and self-respect. Handling conflict with emotional control isn't just a skill, it's a reflection of your inner strength, and it's a powerful tool for building more authentic relationships. Number 5. Stop seeking validation. One of the most insidious habits that undermines our self-respect and personal autonomy is the constant seeking of validation from others. In today's world, where social media amplifies our desire to be seen, liked, and approved of, it becomes all too easy to fall into the trap of relying on external sources for our sense of worth. We all have a natural inclination to want to be admired and accepted by others, but when we base our sense of self-worth on the approval of those around us, we essentially strip ourselves of true self-respect. Instead of feeling empowered, we become vulnerable, placing our happiness, confidence, and sense of identity in the hands of others. This dependency on external validation can leave us feeling empty and disconnected from our true selves. Modern Stoicism teaches us that our sense of worth should not be based on the fleeting opinions of others. The Stoics, who emphasized inner peace and rational thinking, understood that self-respect must come from within. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, wisely said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts," a statement that underscores the idea that our true value is determined by our inner beliefs and values, not by the approval or disapproval of others. True self-respect arises from a deep understanding of who we are, acknowledging our strengths and weaknesses, and aligning our actions with our core values. It does not come from the pursuit of external praise or approval. Breaking free from the constant need for validation is not easy, especially in a world that is so focused on likes, shares, and comments. To overcome this, we must shift our focus inward and start validating ourselves through our actions, rather than seeking affirmation from others. Instead of looking outside ourselves for confirmation of our value, we must learn to trust our own judgment and recognize our inherent worth. This shift can be challenging, particularly if we've spent much of our lives seeking approval, but it is essential for emotional freedom and resilience. When we stop chasing the approval of others, we start to feel more confident in our decisions, more grounded in our beliefs, and more at peace with who we truly are. Without this external tether, we are no longer held captive by the judgments and criticisms of others, making us far less susceptible to feelings of inadequacy or self-doubt. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminded us, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This teaches us that our ability to control our reactions to external events is far more powerful than letting those events dictate our self-worth. When we stop relying on external validation, we gain control over how we respond to the world around us. We start to act from a place of self-assurance rather than being driven by the need to please others. This inner strength allows us to navigate life with greater clarity and emotional stability. Self-validation does not mean that we become indifferent to the opinions of others or that we stop caring altogether about how we are perceived. Rather, it means that we no longer place our sense of self-worth in the hands of others. It's about cultivating the inner strength to stand firm in our choices, trust our decisions, and live authentically without needing constant affirmation. As we practice this, we build greater emotional freedom, which in turn enhances our resilience and sense of well-being. Over time, this internal shift leads to a deeper sense of peace. When we no longer tie our identity to the judgments of others, we become free to pursue our goals, live in alignment with our values, and be content with who we are. This is the essence of modern Stoicism, a philosophy that helps us navigate life with inner stability, unaffected by the ever-changing tides of external validation. Once we stop seeking validation from others, we no longer feel the need to mold ourselves to fit their expectations. Instead, we can show up as our true selves, grounded in our convictions. This shift towards self-validation requires courage and consistent effort, but it is ultimately the key to unlocking a life of empowerment. It allows us to break free from the need to constantly please others and instead embrace the strength of our own inner convictions. Through this transformation, we become more resilient, more grounded in our beliefs, and ultimately more at peace with ourselves and how we navigate the world around us. Number 6. Let go of fear and anxiety. Fear and anxiety are natural parts of the human experience, but they don't have to govern how we live. Modern Stoicism teaches us that fear often stems from our attachment to particular outcomes and expectations, and the way we interpret situations can sometimes amplify our fears far beyond the reality of the circumstances. In fact, Stoicism suggests that fear is a product of our resistance to accepting what is outside of our control. The key to overcoming fear lies in understanding what we can and cannot influence, and most importantly, how we respond to situations that test us. While we cannot control every event in our lives, we do have the power to choose how we react to them. This approach is central to Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes the importance of focusing on the present moment and accepting what we cannot change while directing our energy towards what we can. In modern life, anxiety often emerges from the unknown. The things we fear might happen, the potential for failure, or situations that feel overwhelming and beyond our control. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely stated, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This truth highlights how many of our fears are connected to desires and expectations that in reality are not within our grasp. Fear is often tied to things we wish we could control, but the more we let go of these desires and focus on what is truly within our influence, the more we begin to break free from the grip of anxiety. Rather than running from fear, we are encouraged to embrace it as an essential aspect of personal growth. Fear often arises when we step outside our comfort zones, when we challenge ourselves to grow, to change, and to become better versions of who we are meant to be. The Stoics believed that the only way to diminish the power of fear is to face it directly. It's not about avoiding fear at all costs, but about learning to observe it from a place of calm, allowing it to serve as a signal that we are stretching ourselves into uncharted territory. When we embrace fear in this way, it loses its ability to control us. With every encounter, we build resilience and strength, making us more capable of handling life's challenges. Anxiety and fear may still arise from time to time, but by practicing the principles of Stoicism, we gain the mental fortitude to prevent them from dominating our thoughts and behaviors. Instead of reacting with panic or avoidance, we respond with clarity and composure, guided by the knowledge that we are in control of our reactions. In today's fast-paced and ever-changing world, the wisdom of modern Stoicism has never been more relevant. As we face the daily challenges of managing our careers, relationships, and personal lives, We can draw on the Stoic mindset to meet fear and anxiety with a sense of balance and self-awareness. This approach helps us cultivate a deeper sense of inner peace, confidence, and self-respect as we learn to navigate our emotions with steadiness. By letting go of the unnecessary fears that limit us and focusing on what is truly within our control, we can create a more fulfilling life, one that is aligned with our core values. When we stop allowing fear to dictate our decisions, we open the door to a life of greater purpose and meaning. Each step we take, no matter how difficult, becomes part of a larger journey towards self-improvement and fulfillment. The Stoic approach to fear, with its emphasis on personal resilience, is a powerful tool for anyone looking to overcome anxiety and live a more intentional, empowered life. You've just taken a significant step toward mastering your fears and anxiety. Remember, by embracing Stoic principles, you can take control of your responses and break free from the grip of fear. We'd love to hear how you're applying these teachings in your life. Leave a comment below with the slogan, "Fear is fuel for growth." Keep pushing forward. Your journey of transformation is just beginning, and we're here to support you every step of the way. Number 7. Practice self-discipline. Self-discipline is one of the most powerful tools in Stoic philosophy, and it plays an essential role in shaping a life of purpose, resilience, and strength. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you given in to a passing desire, only to feel regret afterward? How often do you make impulsive decisions that, in the long run, don't serve your best interests? Without self-discipline, we risk becoming slaves to our emotions and desires, constantly veering off course and falling into patterns of poor decision-making, unhealthy habits, and self-sabotage. This is where Stoicism offers profound wisdom. It teaches us to break free from these cycles by learning to regulate not only our actions, but also our thoughts and emotions. The essence of Stoic self-discipline isn't about denying ourselves the joys of life or following a rigid, joyless routine. It's not about being harsh or overly restrictive. Instead, the Stoic secrets lie in making intentional choices that align with our deeper values and long-term goals. Self-discipline in this sense is about freedom, the freedom to rise above momentary temptations and distractions that often lead us astray. It's about focusing on what truly matters, our growth, our well-being, and our capacity to contribute to the world in meaningful ways. Consider an athlete, for example. Every morning, they wake up before dawn, enduring grueling workouts, pushing through exhaustion, and making sacrifices that most people would shy away from. Their discipline isn't about punishing themselves. It's about striving to become better, stronger, and ultimately more accomplished. Their self-discipline is a conscious choice to delay short-term comfort for long-term success. In the same way, we can approach our lives with the same mindset. By practicing self-discipline, we don't just improve our actions, but also build emotional resilience. We learn how to tolerate discomfort, push through difficult moments, and resist the urge for instant gratification. These are crucial skills for anyone striving for lasting success and fulfillment. Self-discipline also fosters a deep sense of respect for ourselves. Every time we make a choice that aligns with our values, whether it's saying no to unhealthy foods, resisting distractions, or putting in the work when no one else is looking, we strengthen our sense of integrity. We start to trust ourselves more because we know we are making choices that benefit us in the long run, not just taking the easy path in the moment. But what if we fully embraced self-discipline in all areas of our lives? Imagine how different your future could look if you consistently made deliberate, mindful choices that aligned with your highest ambitions and deepest values, even when faced with challenges. What goals could you achieve? What dreams could you turn into reality? By embracing the Stoic principles of self-discipline, we stop being victims of our impulses and start becoming the masters of our actions. We stop letting life happen to us and begin shaping it with intention. Every disciplined action brings us closer to the life we truly want, a life of meaning, purpose, and steady progress toward becoming the best versions of ourselves. The results of practicing Stoic self-discipline are not always immediate, but over time, the benefits are undeniable. Through discipline, we build the foundation for a life of fulfillment. So let the Stoic secrets guide you. Let them lead you toward greater self-control and a life that reflects who you truly are and what you truly want. The discipline to choose your future over your fleeting desires will transform your life. Each time you choose to take deliberate action, you'll grow in self-respect, wisdom, and strength. Remember, it's not the easy path that leads to lasting satisfaction. It's the disciplined one. And in the end, that's what creates the life you desire, a life grounded in purpose and filled with meaning. Number 8. Embrace adversity as growth. In life, adversity is a certainty, a part of the human experience that we cannot escape. Challenges, setbacks, and difficult situations will inevitably come our way, but it is how we respond to them that shapes the quality of our lives. Modern Stoicism teaches us a critical lesson. Adversity should not be viewed as something to avoid or dread, but as an opportunity to grow and develop. Every difficulty that we encounter holds the potential to strengthen our character, sharpen our resilience, and refine our ability to handle life's unpredictable nature. The Stoics, such as Marcus Aurelius, believed that challenges are not simply obstacles, but are instead tests that reveal the true strength of our nature. They understood that growth arises not in comfort, but in hardship. Instead of succumbing to complaints or feelings of defeat when faced with difficulties, we should consciously shift our perspective and embrace these challenges as chances for self-improvement. As Marcus Aurelius himself said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This quote encapsulates the Stoic belief that obstacles are the very catalysts of progress. For instance, when we experience failure, it's common to internalize it as a reflection of our inadequacies. Yet, if we adopt a Stoic mindset, we begin to recognize that failure is not an endpoint, but a valuable stepping stone on the path to success. Each failure presents us with an opportunity to learn and improve, to refine our approach, and to become more adept at navigating the complexities of life. The key lies in viewing failure, not with despair, but with an eye for growth. By doing so, we can transform the sting of disappointment into a source of motivation. The challenges we face teach us the essential skills of problem-solving, adaptability, and patience, qualities that ultimately contribute to a stronger, more self-reliant individual. In modern life, where instant gratification is often prioritized, it can be easy to feel defeated when things don't go as planned. But true strength is built through perseverance, and by maintaining the Stoic attitude of seeing adversity as an opportunity to grow, we learn to approach each challenge with a mindset of determination and optimism. This perspective on adversity allows us to stop being soft in the face of life's difficulties. When we adopt a growth mindset, we no longer see ourselves as victims of our circumstances, but as active participants in our own evolution. Every challenge, no matter how daunting, becomes a chance to grow stronger, more resilient, and more capable. In this way, we align ourselves with the Stoic principles of self-control and inner strength, which empower us to maintain our peace of mind regardless of external conditions. The world around us can be unpredictable, and life's uncertainties are beyond our control, but our reactions are always within our power. By embracing adversity, we learn to navigate even the most turbulent waters with grace and confidence, trusting in our ability to handle whatever comes our way. As we incorporate this mindset into our daily lives, we begin to see a profound shift in our inner world. We stop fearing challenges and start embracing them with a sense of purpose. This does not mean that difficulties become easy or painless, but rather, we become more equipped to face them with resilience. The more we practice this, the more we build a deep sense of confidence that is grounded in our ability to overcome obstacles. This Stoic approach to adversity doesn't just foster emotional resilience, it leads to a more fulfilling and empowered life. By changing the way we perceive challenges, we become more self-sufficient, less reliant on external circumstances to define our happiness or success. As we step into this mindset, we not only become better at facing the inevitable adversities of life, but we also cultivate an unwavering peace that comes from knowing we can handle whatever life throws our way. In this sense, embracing adversity is not just about surviving, it's about thriving in the face of life's challenges. This is the heart of modern Stoicism, to turn life's hardships into opportunities for growth and to build an inner strength that remains steadfast no matter what happens externally. Life is unpredictable, but our approach to it need not be. By embracing adversity, we become more grounded, more resilient, and more confident in our ability to navigate the storms of life. It is through this process of embracing challenges and viewing them as opportunities for growth that we truly stop being soft and begin to live with strength, clarity, and inner peace. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca put it, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. When we face adversity, we do not shrink from it, we grow through it, becoming stronger and more capable with every challenge we meet. Number 9. Cultivate inner peace. In today's world, where distractions and demands seem endless, cultivating inner peace is not just a luxury, it's an essential act of self-respect and personal empowerment. As we go about our daily lives, constantly pulled in multiple directions by external pressures, it can be easy to forget that our happiness and tranquility do not depend on what happens around us. Stoicism teaches us that true peace comes from within, and our internal state, rather than external circumstances, determines our sense of fulfillment. To stop being soft, to stop bending to the will of others, we must first learn to cultivate inner strength, the kind of strength that protects our inner tranquility no matter what the world throws at us. Inner peace doesn't mean avoiding stress or conflict, but rather learning how to manage our emotional responses to them. It requires detaching from external stressors, letting go of needless worries, and resisting the pull of seeking validation from others. In our quest for inner peace, we also need to reject the constant need for external approval. People, situations, and even material possessions often become the benchmarks by which we measure our worth and happiness. But Stoicism teaches us that true peace comes from our ability to control our responses to them, not from the circumstances themselves. In modern life, we are inundated with opinions, feedback, and distractions, all of which can undermine our sense of self if we allow them to. However, as the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely pointed out, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This is at the heart of cultivating inner peace. It's about training ourselves to detach from the noise, recognizing that we can't control what others think or how the world behaves, but we can control how we respond to these influences. Through mindfulness, reflection, and daily practice, we can reprogram our minds to focus on what truly matters, our own thoughts and actions. Over time, as we build this mental discipline, we find that inner peace becomes a natural part of our lives. We stop being easily shaken by the chaos around us. The key is to stop reacting impulsively and instead learn to respond thoughtfully, which requires a level of emotional intelligence and self-awareness that Stoicism encourages us to develop. This shift in mindset allows us to make better decisions and stay grounded even in the most challenging situations. By focusing on what we can control, our inner responses, our actions, and our attitudes, we begin to free ourselves from the constant need for approval or external validation. We stop being driven by the whims of others and start moving through life with a sense of purpose and peace. Of course, this process is not easy or immediate. Cultivating inner peace requires consistent effort and practice. It's something that we must actively work on every day. But with patience and perseverance, it becomes easier over time. As we face challenges, big and small, we learn to approach them with a calm mind, knowing that we are in control of how we experience them. Inner peace becomes the foundation of emotional strength, enabling us to face life's challenges with grace, composure, and resilience. In modern times, where so much is unpredictable and overwhelming, the ability to cultivate inner peace is more crucial than ever. When we can hold our ground and stay centered within ourselves, we are better equipped to navigate the complexities of life without being swept away by fear, stress, or anxiety. In this way, inner peace not only enhances our own lives, but it also influences those around us. We become a source of stability and calm in a world that often feels chaotic and uncertain. Ultimately, the practice of modern Stoicism offers us the tools to cultivate this inner peace, and by doing so, we empower ourselves to live more fulfilling, purposeful, and resilient lives. Thank you for being here with us today. Before we dive into the next topic, I want to take a moment to express my sincere gratitude for your presence. Maybe you've experienced something similar, or perhaps you have some valuable insights to add to the conversation. I'd love for you to leave a comment with the slogan, "Peace begins from within," or simply share your thoughts on how you maintain inner peace in a world full of pressures and distractions. Small interactions like this not only show your engagement, but also help us continue creating content that truly resonates with you. Now, let's explore the next powerful truth together. Number 10. Prioritize your own well-being. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to lose sight of your own well-being while trying to meet the demands of others, society, or your professional and personal goals. You might find yourself constantly seeking approval, trying to please everyone around you, and neglecting the one person who deserves your attention the most, yourself. But what if the key to truly being of service to others and living a meaningful life isn't about constantly giving, but about making sure you're strong, healthy, and energized in the first place? This is one of the core teachings of Stoicism, the idea that you can't pour from an empty cup. To be truly effective in your relationships, your work, and your contributions to the world, you must first prioritize your own well-being. This isn't selfishness or narcissism, it's a recognition that self-care is essential to maintaining a fulfilling and balanced life. Think about it. When was the last time you felt fully energized, calm, and centered enough to give your best to those around you? It's hard to do that when you're burned out, physically drained, or mentally overwhelmed. Stoic secrets tell us that in order to serve others well, we need to ensure that our physical, emotional, and mental health are in good shape. This means taking the time to rest, recharge, and engage in activities that nourish your soul. By doing so, you not only replenish your own energy, but you also increase your capacity to face challenges, solve problems, and be present for others. This is the essence of true strength. Let's take the example of a successful entrepreneur, let's say someone like Sarah, who built a thriving business from the ground up. But for years, she worked non-stop, sacrificing sleep, exercise, and personal time, all in the name of success. At first, she believed she was being productive, but over time, the constant grind took a toll on her mental health and physical energy. Eventually, she found herself exhausted, burned out, and questioning if the success was even worth it. After a long break and some serious reflection, she realized that in order to keep her business growing and be the best leader she could be, she needed to make her health a priority. She began setting boundaries, scheduling time for rest, and focusing on activities that brought her joy outside of work. By putting her well-being first, she didn't just become a more effective leader, but she also found greater satisfaction in her work and life. So, when was the last time you really took care of yourself without feeling guilty or selfish? How often do you put your own needs on the back burner to please others, only to feel drained and resentful? It's time to change that mindset. Stoicism encourages us to honor our own needs and understand that taking care of ourselves doesn't take away from our ability to care for others, it enhances it. By saying no when necessary, setting healthy boundaries, and avoiding situations that drain your energy or conflict with your values, you're not being selfish, you're being wise. This kind of balance is key to living a fulfilled life. By prioritizing your well-being, you cultivate a deeper sense of self-respect. You become someone who is strong, emotionally resilient, and better able to contribute meaningfully to the world. The lesson here is clear. You cannot be truly effective in the world if you neglect your own health and happiness. Make self-care a non-negotiable part of your life. Embrace the Stoic secrets of self-care, and you'll find that you have more to offer, not just to others, but to yourself as well. Prioritizing your well-being is the first step toward living a life of purpose, balance, and lasting fulfillment. Number 11. Focus on what you can control. A central teaching of Stoicism is recognizing the distinction between what we can control and what we cannot. In today's world, it's easy to become consumed by stress and frustration, trying to manage things outside our power, like the behavior of others, outcomes of situations or societal judgments, things ultimately beyond our control. Modern Stoicism teaches that true peace comes from focusing only on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions. When we shift our attention to these aspects, we free ourselves from unnecessary anxiety. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." This idea reminds us that while we cannot control the world around us, we have full control over how we respond to it. In modern life, we often fall into the trap of trying to change the uncontrollable. Whether it's a disagreement with a colleague, political issues, or the unpredictable behavior of loved ones, attempting to force outcomes leaves us feeling helpless and frustrated. Stoicism encourages focusing on what we can control, our own efforts and choices. This shift is incredibly liberating. When we redirect our energy away from controlling external factors and instead focus on how we react, we become more grounded and focused, living a less anxious life. The more we practice this, the clearer it becomes that our happiness and success depend on our actions, attitudes, and behaviors, not on the uncontrollable forces around us. This principle is especially important in relationships. We often waste energy trying to control others, whether friends, family, or co-workers, leading to frustration when people don't act as we expect. Stoicism teaches us that we can't control others, but we can control how we respond. By releasing the need to change others, we reduce stress and become more effective in our interactions. If someone is rude, rather than letting their behavior upset us, we can choose to remain calm and composed, protecting our peace of mind. This isn't about being indifferent to others' actions, but about taking responsibility for how we engage with the world. By focusing on our responses, we build healthier, more balanced relationships with ourselves and others. Focusing on what we can control also brings liberation to every aspect of our lives. In a world where external circumstances often feel like they dictate our happiness, Stoicism teaches us to reclaim our power by focusing on what truly matters, our internal world. When we direct our energy to controlling our thoughts, decisions and reactions, we stop wasting energy on things that don't contribute to our well-being or growth. This makes us more resilient and less affected by life's volatility. Modern Stoicism offers tools to navigate life's uncertainties with confidence and purpose, allowing us to take ownership of our reactions, fostering inner peace and stability. In our daily lives, focusing on what we can control brings immense freedom. By eliminating the habit of trying to change things outside our grasp, we free ourselves from anxiety and frustration. We also become more effective at achieving our goals as we stop getting distracted by things that don't serve us. When we focus on improving ourselves, our thoughts, actions and reactions, we experience more satisfaction, growth and success. This mindset shift is transformative, although not always easy. As Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." By focusing on controlling what we can, we reduce the power our fears and worries have over us. Embracing this Stoic principle leads to a more fulfilling, value-driven life, more resilient in the face of challenges. By letting go of the need to control what lies beyond our grasp, we devote our time and energy to what truly matters, our personal growth, actions and relationships. This cultivation of inner strength and peace allows us to navigate the chaos of the world without being swayed by it. Focusing on what we can control is a core tenet of modern Stoicism, one that empowers us to live with purpose and confidence, free from the influence of external forces that once dictated our emotions and decisions. Number 12. Live according to your values. Living a life aligned with your core values is one of the most powerful ways to cultivate self-respect and free yourself from the need to constantly please others. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the expectations and opinions of others, but Stoicism teaches us that a truly meaningful life is one that is guided by reason, virtue, and our own inner principles. When we live authentically, staying true to what really matters to us, we create a strong foundation for making decisions, maintaining emotional stability, and achieving long-term happiness. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." This reflects the truth that living a life of integrity is not always easy, but it is through sticking to our values, despite the challenges we face, that we create a life of true purpose. To live according to our values means to understand what matters most to us, whether it's integrity, compassion, courage, or wisdom, and making choices that reflect these ideals in every aspect of our lives. This approach eliminates the need to compromise our beliefs in order to please others or conform to societal pressures. Living according to your values doesn't mean avoiding conflicts or rejecting others. It means acting with authenticity and integrity, even when faced with opposition or discomfort. It's about being willing to make difficult decisions that might not align with others' expectations, yet staying true to what you believe is right for you. The Stoic principle of living virtuously emphasizes that true strength lies in standing firm in our convictions and not being swayed by the constant noise of external opinions. In today's world, where external validation often feels like the ultimate goal, this can be difficult, but, as the Stoic philosopher Epictetus noted, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This simple but powerful insight encourages us to shift our focus from seeking approval from others to cultivating self-awareness and courage, enabling us to make choices rooted in our own values, regardless of what others might think or expect. It takes courage to be unapologetically yourself, to live in a way that aligns with your core values, especially when society constantly pressures us to conform. Yet when we choose to live authentically and act according to our principles, we experience a profound sense of inner peace and confidence. We no longer feel the need to bend to others' will, because we know we are living in alignment with who we truly are. This connection to our values gives us the emotional resilience needed to handle life's challenges with clarity and purpose. As we navigate the ups and downs of modern life, be it in our careers, relationships, or personal endeavors, the wisdom of modern Stoicism helps us remain grounded. We are not defined by what others think of us or by the fleeting expectations of the moment. Instead, we are anchored in the knowledge that our worth and happiness come from within, from living a virtuous and meaningful life. When we prioritize living according to our values, we cultivate self-respect that enables us to make difficult decisions with confidence. Living authentically is not always easy, and it often requires standing up for what we believe in, even when it's uncomfortable. However, it is through this process that we develop a deeper sense of self-respect and emotional strength. The more we make decisions based on our core values, the more we strengthen our ability to navigate the complexities of life with purpose. The more we prioritize living a life rooted in authenticity and integrity, the less we allow others' expectations to control our actions. This inner clarity and emotional resilience are crucial in facing life's challenges, ensuring that we can stand firm in our beliefs and continue to grow no matter what external circumstances arise. By living according to our values, we stop being soft to everyone, and we instead create a life of purpose, strength, and fulfillment, as the Stoics have always advocated. It's about aligning our actions with our inner truth, embracing the courage to follow that path, and trusting that when we live in accordance with our values, we will find peace and resilience in the face of any challenge. In conclusion, breaking free from the people-pleaser mindset starts with learning to respect ourselves and putting our well-being first. Stoicism offers powerful tools to build emotional resilience, mental clarity, and a sense of purpose, empowering us to assert ourselves confidently without fear or guilt. By practicing self-discipline, setting boundaries, and focusing on what we can control, we cultivate the strength to handle life's challenges with grace. Living according to our values and viewing adversity as an opportunity for growth gives us the courage to live authentically with integrity. The journey to becoming more resilient and assertive may be challenging, but with Stoic principles, we can stop being soft and embrace a life of purpose, confidence, and emotional strength. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic Secrets. Make sure to turn on notifications so you never miss our upcoming videos filled with more Stoic wisdom and personal growth tips. See you next time.